Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Let's Play Warframe. I'm your host with the most, as always, Francois878. And today we're going to be talking about my first impressions of Wukong, the formerly exclusive Chinese Warframe that was introduced into the global build for PC in update 17.12. Now, this video, I'm just going to go through his 4 abilities and his aesthetic look, basically. His 4 abilities are interesting, and I think they fit with him as the Chinese trickster god. I don't think they add anything overly fresh to the game, honestly. His first ability is Iron Jab. It's, a straight line damaging ability. Very similar to Necros' Soul Punch. It's a very cheap damaging ability that can be used as a panic button, but it is not in any means anything fresh or new to the game. His second ability, Defy, is interesting, but it's not really an active ability, so it's not really anything that's fun to use. Defy basically allows you to, it's a toggleable ability, and when you have it on, and you run out of health, it basically grants you a quick 75% of your health back, and you don't go down. It's definitely in no means is it immortality, or, you'll be able to basically live forever, and you will never, have to die with Wukong. That's absolutely not the case. But it does grant Wukong extra survivability over other frames. And if you can keep that toggled on in the appropriate times, it can definitely help you and keep you alive. But that being said, you just kind of toggle it on and off. It's not really something that you use or coordinate with any other abilities, really. So it's not really an interesting ability to use. His third ability is called Cloud Walker. It's a stealth ability. You turn into like a vaporous cloud, and you stun any enemies in the radius of the cloud when you're entering the cloud and when you're exiting the cloud. And I don't know. It's an interesting stealth ability, and it's definitely, I'm not sure if it's on par with Loki or Ash, because with Loki and Ash, you can use your primary and secondary weapons, whereas with Wukong, you can't, so you don't really have the ability to take out enemies. And if you run out of duration or energy when you're in the middle of Cloud Walker, you'll exit Cloud Walker and stun all the enemies in your radius and alert them to your presence. So it's an interesting stealth ability. I wouldn't call it an amazing stealth ability. Definitely, if you're tired of using Loki and Ash, he's a good alternative. Of course, and finally, his fourth ability, Primal Fury, is it's a variation on Excalibur's ultimate. Basically, you use Wukong's mythical staff, and you just beat the hell out of everybody. The melee range increases depending on the range, or on your melee counter. So the higher your counter, your melee combo counter is, the larger the potential range is. There is a limit, but it's a fairly interesting mechanic, and I'm kind of on board with it. I'm on board with it because it brings a new, slightly different edge to the whole melee ultimate, and I'm okay with it. It's a lot of fun to run around and beat the hell out of people with Wukong's staff, and being able to actually have the combo count really matter for another frame is good. Not a lot of frames have really the melee counter doesn't really matter for a lot of frames, and so to see the melee counter kind of matter for Wukong and his ultimate is kind of cool. As far as his aesthetic look goes, I really like it. I think the design team did an amazing job on him. I think he looks fantastic. He does look like Wukong, thousands of years in the future, and is a robotic ninja, but I'm very impressed. I think that some frames not so much. Some frames miss the mark a little bit, but for Wukong, I'm very happy with it. So all in all, Wukong he's going to be an interesting frame. He's not the most original frame, but he's got a lot of different stuff that he can do. So there's going to be a lot of different builds that he can, a lot of different roles that he can fill, and a lot of different builds that he can have and be good at. So he's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none type of frame. So in the future, I'll be doing an actual build video. This was just my first impressions, my bare bones, you know, first couple of missions, impressions of him. So far, though, I've liked what I've seen. Not the most original frame, but does have potential to be, you know, a multi-role frame in the future. But thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more Warframe content coming soon. I've been your host with the most, as always, Francois878.